Hey everyone, welcome to an NFL video. In this one, we are building a cash game lineup together. Now, this is not a guaranteed cash lineup that I am going to play this weekend, but I put it together. It makes a lot of sense for cash games. It's got chalky plays on it. It doesn't have any stacking, which we only do for GPP, so I'm not like full stack on Lamar Jackson with Hollywood Brown, Mark Andrews, and all those guys. This is a cash game lineup. We kind of pretty much just do one-offs here. We want high volume, high floors. We want guys with ceilings too. But I think it's a pretty safe lineup build. Should be chalky. So anyway, before we get into it, if you guys could leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. If we could get to 2K very soon, that would be awesome. And you can also follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16. And if you like any of my extra content, or if you just want to help me out, my link's in the description below for my Patreon, where I put on my spreadsheet with my projections, cash game rankings, wide receivers, cornerback data, all that good stuff, projected ownership. It's all available in the link in the description below. That's enough plugging of myself. Let's get into this video. So I've said it all week. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, I am plugging Josh Allen in for my cash game lineups. That's something I am going to do. I can tell you that right now for sure. It's going to be Josh Allen. And he's just got such a nice floor with his rushing ability. He's not the best passer in the world, but he still throws the ball about 30 times a game. Going up against that Cincinnati defense who struggles versus the pass. I struggle versus the run. He's going to run the ball. He's had 10 attempts. He's had 17 attempts total on the ground so far this season. He does have 2 rushing touchdowns already. He's thrown for over 250 yards each game this season. Very soft matchups versus the Jets and Giants, but it's another soft matchup versus the Bengals. He honestly has a floor of about 20 points in this game. If he ends up throwing 2 touchdowns through the air and gets a touchdown on the ground, you're going to be very happy. Now, his yardage totals on the ground have not been too impressive so far, but I think he can do it versus the Bengals, who have a terrible run defense. And Devin Singletary is gone for the game, so maybe that boosts Josh Allen's rushing upside even more because they're going to have to rely on him. Well, I know Frank Gore's there, but still, he's an old man. He's going to chug along, though, but should be at least somewhat of a boost for Josh Allen. He's got a nice deep threat in John Brown, which fits his skill set very nicely because Josh Allen is a gunslinger. He will throw the ball downfield. John Brown can burn guys downfield, so it makes a lot of sense. I love Josh Allen in cash this weekend. He's very affordable, and trust me, I would love to play Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes in cash, but I need the safe running backs. I need the safe receivers. So it just doesn't make sense for me to pay all the way up at quarterback this weekend. GPPs, I think that's fine because you can take shots at cheaper running backs or whatnot. But just for the way I want my cash game lineup to look this week, I need some safe running backs. So speaking of the running backs, let's talk about my 2 favorite guys in cash this week. Well, I should say McCaffrey and Elliott are my favorite, but it just doesn't work for me to be able to fit all those guys in. So I'm going to go down to Dalvin Cook at 7,800. I know what you're thinking. He's pretty expensive. His price has jumped from 6K from week 1 all the way up to 7,800, and I still think it's too cheap. I think we're still getting value here because next week he's going to be over 8K. I'm telling you right now. And he has been an absolute stud this season. The only concern about him has ever been his injury history. Well, he is perfectly healthy, and he's averaging 30 points a game right now at 29 points week 1. Busted off a 75-yard touchdown week 2 versus the Packers. Had 20 attempts in both games. He's involved through the air as well. He's had 5 targets so far. They run the ball a ton. Their new offense is leaned way heavier towards the run, which we thought was going to happen in the offseason, and it has came true. So Dalvin Cook is in a prime spot versus the Oakland Raiders, who do not have the best run defense in the world. They're going to pound the ball down their throat. They're at home. They're favorites. I love running backs that are home favorites. So Dalvin Cook makes a ton of sense to me, and he's not game script dependent either because of his involvement through the air. So I definitely like Dalvin Cook a ton. He is my favorite cash game running back of the week. I mean, I guess you could say McCaffrey and Elliott is, but I need the savings there. So definitely like Dalvin Cook. And then Austin Eckler, I want to plug him in as well. He's 7,200. I know he's getting a little bit expensive, but I still think he is fine. He has the most fantasy points out of anyone the first 2 weeks of the season. He scored 40 points week 1, 24 points week 2, and that was with fumbling on the 1-yard line. Everybody had another 30-point game. So I love Austin Eckler. He's heavily involved in the game plan. He's heavily involved through the air, the number 1 running back on the ground. He's a workhorse, and he's very efficient with the ball, especially through the air. He's a touchdown monster so far. And I love Austin Eckler. He's got something to prove with Melvin Gordon being gone. He wants to show the team he can be the guy. And Austin Eckler, he's a very good running back. Honestly, he might be better than Melvin Gordon. So I do like Austin Eckler a ton. You're getting guaranteed pretty much 20 touches here, and at 7,200, I would take that all day, even against a Houston defense, which is known for its good run defense. But they lost to Jadeveon Clowney, and he was one of the better run defenders in the league. So you're gonna have to downgrade them. And Austin Eckler, again, he's game script proofed. He's an excellent receiver. He's a good running back. So Austin Eckler makes a ton of sense for me this weekend, and I would love to plug him in my cash games because he offers us a safe floor and he has a high ceiling. As you guys have seen, he scored 40 points week 1. And Dalvin Cook's the same kind of guy. He has a high floor and he's got a high ceiling as well. So I love those 2 running backs in cash this weekend, and they're pretty affordable. I mean, like I said, I'd love to fit in McCaffrey or Zeke, but it's just not possible unless I want to play a bunch of cheap receivers and a punt defense, which honestly I don't want to do in cash games. And by playing Dalvin Cook and Austin Eckler, it gives me enough salary to play my number 1 wide receiver of the week, Keenan Allen, at only $7K, and he will be good to go for the game on Sunday. They said that a little bit ago, which is good because I love Allen this week. Earlier in the week, I said I would not be surprised if Keenan Allen came in as my highest projected receiver of the slate, and guess what? He ended up coming in as my highest projected wide receiver in the slate, so he's my number 1 wide receiver, and I love plugging him in cash games. I know I don't love playing the same running back and same receiver from the same team in cash games, but it's definitely doable this week because these guys are going to get a ton of work, and that's what we love in cash games. We want volume, and we also want good matchups and good players, which that's what we're getting with Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. So Allen, he is a target monster. 25 targets through 2 weeks, 8 receptions in both games. He had 30 points, 17 points. He's just one of the safest plays on the board, in my opinion. He has a 91% weighted opportunity share. That is absolutely massive. He's going to get a huge target share of the team, huge market share. Love Keenan Allen. He's very safe, and he's very good. So, I mean, there's safe guys that aren't very good. Well, he's safe and good. He's so mispriced at 7K. He should honestly be around 8K. So we're getting a lot of good value there. So definitely love plugging in Keenan Allen, and I was very happy I was able to afford him in this lineup. Because earlier in the week, I didn't think I was going to be able to afford Allen, but we ended up getting him in. And the next guy is Emmanuel Sanders, another guy I've talked about a ton. I think he's one of the best cash game options of the week. He's going to be very highly owned for a good reason. He's just way too cheap. He's got too much talent to be this price tag of 4,800. And he had 28 points last week, and he only goes up 100. He scored 19 points week 1, 28 points last week versus Chicago, which we know they have an excellent defense. He's a target monster. He's had 20 targets through 2 weeks, 11 receptions last week. Has not broke the 100-yard mark, but he's still scored two touchdowns so far. He's heavily involved in the game plan. He's the number 1 wide receiver for Joe Flacco, which I know is not the most exciting thing in the world, but still, he's the number 1 wide receiver. He's got a lot of talent. I know he's coming off the Achilles injury, but that does not seem to slow him down whatsoever. Somehow, I don't know how, but he's done it. I love Emmanuel Sanders at only 4,800. He makes too much sense to me this week. And then for the last wide receiver position, unfortunately, it looks like Alshon Jeffrey is going to play, so it's not as great of a play as it was. But still, Deshaun Jackson's out. I mean, Jeffrey's still banged up, so we're not going to know how much run he's going to end up getting anyway until like Sunday, see how he feels. So I'm still pretty confident in plugging in Nelson Agholor. Before I heard that news, I was very confident in Agholor, but slight downgrade, but still, he's only 3,600. He's going to see an increased workload in this offense. Last week, when everyone was banged up, he had 11 targets, 8 receptions, 107 yards, got a touchdown, 27 points. Could have even been more if he didn't drop that wide open touchdown he had. Long touchdown, too. So I definitely like Nelson Agholor. He offers us salary relief, and he's got upside as well. And when other guys have been hurt or out in this offense before, he has produced. So Nelson Agholor makes a lot of sense to me, and he's going to be very highly owned. I will say, though, the Alshon Jeffrey news is not fantastic for him, but we'll make do. Then at the tight end position, I love Mark Andrews this week. I love Evan Ingram, and I love Mark Andrews. They're my 2 favorite cash game options. But going to go with Mark Andrews. He should be good to go, and he has been an absolute stud. And as you can see, I did not have exposure to any of the Ravens or Chiefs game yet, so this is very important. I think you got to get at least one piece of them. One piece of that game, because it's going to be the highest scoring game of the week. 2 great offenses so far. So I do like getting in Mark Andrews. I do think he's going to be the highest owned tight end for a good reason. He has absolutely balled out the first 2 weeks. 27.8 points, 28.2. He's still 4,600, and I think he's going to pay off this price tag. I wish he was still in that 3K, 3.8 range, but I guess we can't get that lucky every week. I know if you're looking at his matchups, though, they've been very easy matchups versus Miami, who's a JV squad, and Arizona. Not a JV squad, but they're not the best team in the world. Definitely don't have the best defense, but he had 9 targets week 2, 8 targets week 1, 8 receptions in both games, had broken the 100-yard mark in each one, and scored a touchdown in each game. I think he's a fantastic play this week going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, who are not the best defense in the world. This game should be back and forth. Lamar Jackson's going to have to throw the ball. Kansas City has struggled recently versus the tight end position, so Mark Andrews makes a ton of sense to me. He's got talent, and he's got a good quarterback throwing the ball to him. This game should be played at a pretty high pace. Highest Vegas total of the slate. Makes a ton of sense to me. I think Mark Andrews has another fantastic game this week. And then at the flex spot, well, let me plug in my defense first. So the defense, I like either the Cowboys or the Patriots in the cash games. I think that's where you got to go. I mean, I don't mind if you want to punt the position. So let's say if we did punt and we use, like, say the Steelers, that's going to leave us 6,800. And then in the flex, not in love with any of these guys for cash games. So I've actually felt comfortable enough going up to the Patriots. And the Jets only have a 10-point implied total. They're on their third-string quarterback, and they're at home. They're 20-point favorites. The Patriots defense should smash. They're going to be highly owned coming off that 37-point week. I know they're not going to replicate that, but honestly, it would surprise me if they got 2 touchdowns versus Luke Falk and company. But still, I think they're the safest defense of the week playing at home versus a battered-up Jets team. And as you can see, that leaves us with 5,300 remaining. We can do a few things here. Let's talk about it. Ridley, not really a cash game guy. Jacobs is a little banged up. He's going to see a workload, but don't love it versus Minnesota. Jalen Samuels, no. Damian Williams is not playing. DeMarcus Robinson, not a cash game guy. Evan Ingram, yeah, he makes sense, but I don't really want to play 2 tight ends in cash. I did last week because Darren Waller was just way too cheap. Not really the week for me to do it. John Ross, even though he's been excellent, not a cash game guy. James White, absolutely not a cash game guy. So that leaves me with Larry Fitzgerald and Christian Kirk, really, that I'm thinking about. And I love Christian Kirk and I love Larry Fitzgerald, but I think Larry Fitzgerald is the safer cash game play this weekend. He has been awesome so far this season. 28 points week 1, 18 points week 2. The Cardinals are throwing the ball a ton, like a ton, and that is great for Fitzgerald. Kyler Murray has been connecting with him, and he's being used down the field. He has not been used down the field in a long time, and it's really nice seeing Fitzgerald be able to do that still. As you can see, his longest receptions so far are 45 and 54. It's been a while since he's done anything like that. He has 24 targets through 2 weeks, broken the 100-yard mark both times, had a touchdown week 1. I think Fitzgerald's a fantastic play this weekend. The Carolina pass D is not too good. Kyler Murray should have some success here. People like Kyler Murray, so they got to like his weapons. And yeah, he should be just fine. They play at a very high pace. It's going to be a ton of snaps. He's going to see some volume. And at 5,100, he's got talent. It makes too much sense for me, so I definitely like Larry Fitzgerald this weekend. I do typically like to play a running back in the flex spot that gets passing work, but the way this lineup works out, I think Fitzgerald's going to be just fine. So that's going to be it for this lineup. We got Josh Allen. As you can see, these are all just one-offs. We don't have any stacking. Well, I guess Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler. So we got one, but they're going to see so much volume at each position. I think they're just fine for cash games. So we got Josh Allen, Dalvin Cook, Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, Emmanuel Sanders, Nelson Aguilar, Mark Andrews, Larry Fitzgerald, and the Patriots D. I think this is a very high floor lineup. It's going to be a very chalky lineup, but that's what we want to do in cash. We don't get extra points if we play a guy that's lower owned than the rest. We all get the same points in cash games. You don't want to make stupid mistakes. Let everyone else make the stupid mistakes. You just play these safe plays. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Remember to leave a like, and if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out, and I really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter at ChrisPennell16, and if you guys like NASCAR, I don't know how many of you actually do, but I actually started my channel doing NASCAR pretty much, so I'm going to have a NASCAR video dropping in about a little bit over an hour. So if you guys are interested in that, check it out. Check out my other NFL videos I posted for this weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.